Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, happy Unicorn Day. I don't know why it's Unicorn Day. It seems kind of weird to me, but it's Unicorn Day. First Thursday of every month, so get yourself a unicorn shirt or face paint or something. I don't know. All right, we're going to talk about adding fractions with unlike denominators, where we've been doing it with models. This time we're going to do it without the models. I know everybody has their pencil down and they're paying attention, because it would make me sad if you weren't. Make me really sad if you weren't. So the first question we're going to do is 1/8 plus 3/4. Zane, can I add these two fractions together the way they're currently written?
No.
Why not, Zane?
Because they're not the same denominator.
Good. They are not the same denominator. I need to find a common denominator for these two fractions. Oh, Soraya, how would you find a common denominator?
Something that I can both multiply to.
Okay, something they can both multiply to. So we could either use our multiplication chart and find our two denominators, the row that starts with 8 and the row that starts with 4, and we list the multiples until we find, the first one that shows up in both is 8. So 8 is going to be our least common denominator. So now later on when you ask me, how do I find the least common denominator? I'm going to say, well, we just did it the other day. You can look on the Tube of You. You can look on the Google Classroom for January 6, 2022, and it'll be there, and you'll go, oh, after you say, I don't want to do that. Now, we need to change both of these fractions. Actually, we only need to change one of them, but we need both of these fractions to have a denominator of 8. But we cannot change the value. The value cannot be changed. So I have this one is already over 8. Since it's already over 8, I don't need to change that. 1/8 can stay 1/8. However, I need to change 3/4. So it's something over 8, but I cannot change the value. It's like saying 60 minutes is an hour. It's the same thing. Like 4/4 is $1. It's the same thing. I'm not changing the value. I'm changing the way it is written. I'm finding an equivalent fraction next week when you do a quick short review of equivalent fractions. This is how you do it. We're missing this numerator. So we have to figure out, what did I multiply by 4 to get my new denominator? So 4 times what? 2. If I multiply my denominator by 2, I must also multiply my numerator by 2. So my new numerator is 6. So now I have 1/8 plus 6/8. I can do 1/8 plus 6/8 because it has the same denominator. And 1/8 plus 6/8 is what? 7/8. But now Mr. McMurdo always says our answer has to be in lowest terms. It has to be simplified. It has to be reduced, however you say it. However, if the numerator and denominator are 1 apart, I can't simplify it unless it's improper. Then I can change it to a mixed number. But since we have 7/8, 7 is 1 less than 8, I can't simplify it. Maybe the next one we do, I can simplify. I don't know. I just made these problems up off the bottom of my head. No one's questioning that. That's not really even the same. 7/10 and 1/2. As you do these, you're going to get more habit and you'll know what the common denominator is. I mean, I know looking at this what the common denominator is, but I've added fractions a lot. And some of you are looking at it right now going, duh, I don't know. I know what it is. You don't have to be mean about it. I'm going to find my least common denominator.
How do we do that?
Well, I'm going to post a video on the Tube of View, and I'm also posting a video on the Classroom of Google. To find the least common denominator, I take my 2 denominators. Count them. 2 denominators, Carter. And they are 10 and 2. I find the first one. If I'm looking at a multiplication chart,
I don't have one.
well, you could always make one. You know, if you're doing an assignment or a test and you don't have one, you could make one. I'm just saying. I look at my rows that start with 2 and 10, and I'm going to see 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to see that 10 is my least common denominator because it is the first common multiple they have. Yes, ma'am.
Why is it called the least when it's the highest number?
It's not, because they have 10 in common, they have 20 in common, they have 30 in common, they have 40 in common. There is no most common denominator because these I can multiply and I can just keep multiplying by bigger and bigger numbers. Okay, so least you want the first one. It's going to save you from having to do more simplifying or more work. So now this one is already over 10. I need to change this so it's over 10. Well, we know all our halves. Everyone knows a fraction with a denominator of 10, the numerator has to be what if it equals a half? 5. Because a half, any fraction that equals a half, the numerator is half of the denominator. Now we can add those because they have a common denominator. Silas, what is 7/10 plus 5/10? 12/10. Emma, what kind of fraction is that?
An improper fraction.
An improper fraction. An improper fraction. How many 10s go into 12? 1. So 1 and 2/10 is going to be 1. And how many do we have left over? 2. And of course, my denominator stays the same. So we have 1 and 2/10. However, Susanki is going to tell me that could be simplified, weren't you? Okay? They're both even numbers. So what can divide into every even number? 2. Every even number can be divided by 2. And now I'm going to get 1. And what's 2 divided by 2? 1. What's 10 divided by 2? 5. 1 and 2/5.
1 and 1/5.
1 and 1/5. 1 and 1/5. I was just seeing if you guys were paying attention. Only Susanki was. So at least. That's why I always make mistakes, just to see if Susanki is paying attention. All right, so those are our 2 for today. I will record more videos and post them on the Classroom of Google and the Tube of You. This is the time in class where you get to work on your individual work on the Classroom of Google. You may begin. Boom, shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you, do something kind today, save the bees, please subscribe. Tell others to subscribe. If you have any friends, tell them.